Buddy, you are invited to my birthday bash here in Sunset Beach, California, right on the corner of Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. There's plenty of parking normally here. If you can't find it, you go across the street over there to Peter's Landing and park over there. And then all you're going to do is walk out on the beach right here, and we'll be waiting for you right there. You don't have to go any further than that. We've got all kinds of stuff. Our raffle, we've got some food. We're going to drink some hot coffee down there. And of course, we're going to catch lots of surffish. Kids are welcome. Kids are encouraged to come and experience the great outdoors. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you have any questions at all, please give me a call at 657-227-6459. It's an opportunity, a chance for me to say thank you for your great support, a chance for the Freedman Adventures community, family, to come together on a really good afternoon, evening here from SoCal. It's Surfside, California. I'm back here on the beach. It's a little bit breezy as it is just about every single afternoon. You could tell the difference from the morning briefing this morning. There was not a breath of wind, and that's exactly what we have forecast for tomorrow morning and Sunday morning and Monday morning for that matter. It should be absolutely beautiful, and this is totally fishable if you want to fish this in the surf right now. In fact, it looks really good to me. Throwing a little chrome crocodile in this kind of surf can be really, really good. I'm going to get you caught up on a little bit of halibut activity here today. I'll bring you up to date on a live show I did with Captain Daniel Hadaway up there on the Island Spirit. That was a lot of fun talking to Daniel. We've changed our departure time. I'll be reaching out to you who are on our April 4th trip, but we are changing that to 5 a.m. I think it was 6 a.m. So if it was 5 a.m. already, well, we're not changing it. But I think it was 6 a.m. I haven't looked at the paperwork, but we're going to go to 5 a.m. so we can get out of there extra early. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Beautiful day here today. Some halibut caught. And man, it feels like summertime if it wasn't for this wind. Now, wind is the thing that's kind of in the way. One thing I've been hearing here recently is those white tern birds. Man, I'll tell you, when you hear those tern birds, they're chirping away. They are on bait, and I've been hearing that more and more and more. First few days of the year that I've heard it, and they show up in the spring, and they are a good indicator that there's fish in here. You hear those birds, and a lot of times they're on the bait, and then they are on the fish. So we'll keep our eyes on that for you very closely. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on down in San Diego today. There was some fairly good bass fishing, mostly sculpin down there today on the Premier, but they ended up with just under 30 sand bass also. So that's a good indication. We've been seeing those kind of scores. It's not wide open here as we've just come out of winter and now we're into the spring, second day of spring, but a little bit of that bass down there. And we'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. Of course, out of San Diego, all eyes on the San Diego, the boat San Diego, out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. If I say San Diego one more time, you can hit me. I got to say it. I'm going to have to say it. The San Diego is going to go to the Coronado Islands and take a look around. They were out on a crew trip and had 3 fat yellows. Nice one. So you're going to want to bring some yo-yo iron and some surface iron. I've talked to some people who've left messages on the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel saying, I'm going and I'll let you know how it goes. And all I can say to you is 2 things. A, thank you. I really appreciate the feedback. And B, best of luck to you. I hope you guys get them and really cash in on some nice fish. Windsurfers are headed this way. Maybe you'll get a close-up look at one of these guys because it is pretty breezy. It gets way breezy here in the summertime every afternoon, just about every afternoon. Just on cue, baby. There they are. You probably can't see them. Those white tern birds. Perhaps, I hope you heard the chirping. That chirping is magical to surf fishermen because you hear that and you see those birds picking. They're picking bait that's getting forced up to the surface in here by game fish. Well, I don't know if you call it corvina, game fish, or a yellowfin croaker, but let's put it this way, sought after surf fish. And I just have been hearing those guys chirp away here recently. All right, San Diego, we've got that yellowtail we're watching. We'll be watching that very closely. Maybe we'll have some news on the morning briefing tomorrow morning. Also, that sand bass biting. Now up here in the LA Orange County area, we've got some early results from a couple of guys. Number one, the Native Son. They found some big chovy at the bait receiver today. You know, like what we used to call Morro Bay bait. All you old timers will know exactly what I'm talking about. That big bait up in Morro Bay when you went albacore fishing in the fall in years gone by, back in prehistoric times. Well, they found some bait pretty similar to that, maybe not quite as large, and they turned that into at least 2 halibut the last time we heard from them. They released quite a bit of other fish, and then they had a variety of other species like sculpin and whitefish and sheephead. So that chovy really worked well for them. Out there on the 6-pack, the Ghost, both of these boats out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. The Ghost, only 2 people, and they had 7 halibut. One of those fish pushing 30 pounds. Pretty good signal. Looks to me, looks to the guys on the Ghost, looks to our friend Cliff Hughes, who was on the Native Son the other day, that we are moving into the spawning season, that the halibut are getting ready to spawn, and that is a good thing. That's when they really go on the bite. You'll see it in the Channel Islands, you'll see it here. It really does sound good to me. What do we have here? Oh, nothing. I thought it was a fish's head, but it's just a mussel. Here, let me show you. Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? All right. Maybe it doesn't. So we're watching that situation very closely for you out there on the halibut. Good shot there. 7 halibut on the Ghost, only 2 guys, and a couple of halibut on the Native Son. They were nowhere near done. They'll probably end up with more than that. We're seeing a little bit more. Remember, when you're fishing halibut, you want to maintain contact. Maintain contact with the bottom, because that's where the halibut are. So if you have to go up to a 12-ounce torpedo sinker, by all means do it. Cliff Hughes on the Native Son the other day said, choose a good, hot, smoking bait, number 1. Number 2, fish 20-pound fluorocarbon. And number 3, he went up to a 10-ounce sinker to keep his bait on the bottom. He kept changing that bait regularly. It made all the difference in the world for him. So some pretty good signal. We'll see what happens. And again, this goes kind of hand in hand with our grunion runs. Those grunion runs are just getting going right now. And of course, those little fishies that move up on the beaches are a magnet, just like that squid is to other predators. So when you have that around, that is a super great signal and sign. Up there in the Channel Islands, good sheephead fishing. The Aloha Spirit has been catching limits of sheephead on a fairly regular basis. That's 2 per rod. We don't see any exotics or any big numbers of halibut, but we have seen those guys up there pick a halibut or 2 here and there. So that's good. And again, we're just kind of getting into that season when that is getting ready to happen. Hopefully, as these fish start to spawn, we'll see more and more of that as we go along. We'll watch that for you very, very closely as we continue to see really good signal and sign on that halibut. Now, here in the LA Orange County area, 1/2 and 3/4 day boats for you tomorrow. You're going to be looking at sculpin, whitefish, sheephead, maybe a few more halibut. Of course, the guys will be taking a look at that halibut for you one more time again. You know what's going on in San Diego. They've been picking a few bass down there around Dana Wharf sport fishing, so that's a good signal also. And up in the Channel Islands, more sheephead, whitefish, that kind of stuff until the rockfish opener, which is April the 1st. Tuna situation, maybe get a look at it this weekend. We'll see. I think some guys are going to get down to Collinet, 120 miles below the border, where there has been phenomenal lingcod fishing this year. On board the Pacific Voyager, just to give you one example, 15 anglers, 150 lingcod. Is that even possible? It is when Max Nui is the captain. I love Max, young man who puts in a lot of hard work and fishes hard with a great deal of enthusiasm. Man, he does a great job. They had a heck of a trip. The Tributes had big numbers on the link. Several other boats who've been down there have done very well on that fish also. We'll keep our eyes on that. There's been bluefin as close as 50 miles. We saw 5 big schools of it a couple weeks ago, about 75 miles from Point Loma. Guys have been on this fish, and it has not wanted to bite. All right, let's be clear about that. Max was on that fish down there off San Martin Island, giving me a play-by-play. He had my heart rate up, man. He's going, I'm going on another school. This one looks good. A lot of fish here. No bite, no bite. Then he run on another school. No bite. So that's been the situation. Not uncommon for the winter time and early spring. In fact, most of the time during this time of the year, there are exceptions to all of this. Most of this time, you're going to get a night bite on these bluefin tuna. They bite better at night, and sometimes they do not even bite at all in the daytime. And so far here in 25, that's exactly what we've seen. The biggest bunch of bluefin, mixed up with some yellowfin to the south of it, is down there around Cedros and Bonitos Island, down there about 280, 300 miles. That fish is still there, right in our sights for our Independence trip, April 21st through the 26th. All right, let's talk surf fishing. It is improving. As I say, I like this. I don't know what the water temperature is, and I'm not going to give you the scientific version of what it is, but I'm going to tell you that, that feels a little chilly today. And it could be because it's warmer. Nah, it feels like 58-ish to me, maybe 59-ish, something like that. It does feel a little bit cooler, I think, probably because of the wind we've had, but it's going to get a little more solar warming on it. And we have picked up a few more yellowfin croaker in here. We've seen some spotfin croaker. Wouldn't surprise me if we get them on Sunday, a few spotfin. There's more halibut, of course, with the grunion in here. There's been some good corvina. Guy fishing the grunion run the other night had a corvina, had 5 corvina, nice big ones. And a gentleman, and if you're on here right now, please leave a comment. A gentleman, and his name escapes me right now. He said he watched our grunion coverage, where we were at. We talked about the gentleman who had the 5 corvina. He said he went down there and he kept walking. He got near the jetty and he saw a blue heron with its nose pointed out to sea, something I have referenced a million times before with all of you. And he said, when I saw that, I knew I was in the right place. Sure enough, he said the grunion started to come up on the beach. He caught and released a 22-inch legal halibut. Way to go returning that fish. Way to go catching that fish. And way to go leaving a comment. Thank you so very much for sharing that with me and everybody else. That was really special to me. You know, I love it when somebody listens to our stuff and has success. It means the world to me. And another way you can have some success is if you can't go fishing, go for a walk on the beach. It's so beautiful down here. It really does. Here I go again, I know. It does. It renews your soul. It makes you feel so much better. Get outside, get some vitamin D, get a few steps in. And that's the one great thing about surf fishing, because if I wasn't talking to all of you right now, which I totally enjoy doing, I'd be walking this beach, making a cast. Walking a little bit further, making a cast. Getting some exercise, getting some vitamin D, trying to catch a fish at the same time. It's hard to beat surf fishing. Speaking of that, our surf fishing event is going to be on Sunday, as you well know. It's my B-Day. And the way I want to start my B-Day out is by thanking you for your great and constant support. We're going to do that Sunday at Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. Can you see that tower down there? That's where we're going to meet up. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now look, you don't have to show up at 6 a.m. You can show up at 5:30 a.m. if you're really serious about catching fish. You can show up at 9 a.m. and just get in on this tremendous raffle that we've got down there. If you just want to come down and see the sunrise and do the raffle and drink a cup of coffee, by all means do it. Come down at 9:30, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It really doesn't matter. We just want to see your smiling face down here. Now, Chad Christopher Klein, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, Chad, but I believe Chad is heading up our beach cleanup effort. And it's very informal, but you know, for lack of a better description. In other words, show up with a garbage bag, pick up some garbage that's on the beach. You can get a little crazier if you want, but that's all that's really important to us, is that perhaps you teach your kids, you teach your family the value of keeping our beaches clean and maintaining it that way. And that's really what we're after. Of course, we're trying to make an impact on our beaches. Looks pretty darn clean here right now, but really it's the didactic lesson that we want to can give to our children, our families, and make sure they guard and take care of this precious resource, the Eastern Pacific. Now, a couple things you need to know. The raffle down there, $5 a ticket. You get 5 tickets for $20. We've got 4 beautiful surf fishing rods and reels that are going to go out that morning. We've got all kinds of clear poppers from Tuna Riot, the best popper for bluefin tuna you'll ever fish with. We've also got great stuff from Young's Fishing Tackle in Bellflower, California. Sky at Best Fishing Tackle over in Hawthorne, California is going to make sure that every person who shows up gets a pack of Blacktail hooks, and they're perfect for fishing the surf. And also at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, they're going to open up at 5 a.m. on March the 23rd. Go in there, get your bait. No discount on the bait, but on the tackle, 10% off. You want to get a rod and reel combo? 15% off, 15% off any rod. And any one of those stores that I just mentioned, Young's Fishing Tackle, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, and also over there at Best Fishing Tackle, remember to mention Friedman Adventures to get the discount at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. But any of those stores, you show up that morning with a receipt. You made any purchase at all, like a 2-cent piece of bubble gum, and we'll give you a free raffle ticket. You'll be in the big game to win some truly great prizes. It's gonna be fantastic. By the way, raffle talk here Monday night's huge. About $2,000 worth of stuff going out on Tackle Shop Confessions. If I can get you information on those, just send me a text at 657-227-6459. And it's going to be a spectacular day on Sunday. So, as I say, no matter what you want to do, if you're a serious fisherman, you really want to catch something, I'd be there at 6. I would be there at 6. I'd be rigged up and ready to rock and roll. You go in the water while it's still a little bit dark out. It'll start to kind of lighten up around 6:30. You go in the water, you're going to get bit because the high tide's at 4:30 in the morning. So you're going to want to take advantage of that. Now, when we get into the low tide situation, you can catch halibut and corvina all day long on the low tide. And we'll have people here to help you out. We'll also have the brand new Friedman Adventures surf fishing line. You lay it in the sand and you can't even see it. It's great, and either can the fish. You'll get to try it out. And of course, we'll show you how you'll be able to purchase the Friedman Adventures surf fishing line here on my birthday. I'll have more information on that as we go along. And more great prizes. Worm King Lures is going to give a cash prize away and also some other gifts. So it's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about that. All right, my friends, so March the 23rd down there, Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. You have a question, you need any help, 657-227-6459. Send me a text. We're also looking for some greeters for that event. So if you're the kind of person who's got a big smile on your face and you love people, man, we could use you. You could just show up that morning and say, hey, what do I do? What do you need me to do? And we'll put you on with helping people out or greeting them and showing them around a little bit. If you'd like to attend a meeting on this, you can do that at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. San Pedro, pardon me. We'll be there tomorrow at 12 noon for that meeting. And it's not necessary that you show up for the meeting, but if you'd like to, that'd be fantastic. It'll be in the Friedman Adventures YouTube studio there at 22nd Street Landing. It's always great to see you there, and it should be beautiful at the landing tomorrow. Maybe we'll see some boats or captains walk in and walk out. It's always good to be there. 12 noon tomorrow, Saturday, at 22nd Street Landing. We'll be there planning things out a little bit. And then, of course, Sunday morning right here on the beach. It's going to be really good. As I say, right now, I'm taking a look at this ocean, and there is not a darn thing wrong with fishing this. I've caught fish in way sloppier crap than this, let me tell you. And once again, the tide seems to be coming up right now. I wish somebody was down here throwing a little jig. I do see the birds. I don't know what they're up to, but there's a few birds picking really up in the shallows here right now. So maybe a little bit of stuff moving up on the beach. All right, my friends, a little bit of halibut activity. We're continuing to watch that bluefin tuna. Again, the yellowtail south of the border from Cabo San Lucas up to Ensenada and Popola and out at the Coronado Islands have shown significant life. Definitely more fish further south, but it's starting to work its way up the Baja Peninsula, and that, I'm telling you, is a really good thing. Don't forget, Big Fish Bait and Tackle, 5 a.m. Excuse me, they are open on March the 23rd. Make sure you drop by there and get your discount. Mention Friedman Adventures. Get those discounts. Grab some bait and get on down. And any purchase you make sure you show Anthony your receipt, and he'll give you one free raffle ticket. And then we'll have tons more on sale for you to help Friedman Adventures do more content, as well as win a great prize for each and every one of you. Wayne Shimabakuro took me out to breakfast this morning and provided me with a bunch of ribeye steaks. Wayne, I love you, man. He knows I'm on the carnivore diet. He knows the way to a carnivore's heart. Ribeye steaks, that is for sure. Whoa. All right, my friends, have a great one. Always great spending time with you. And of course, if I don't see you on Sunday, I'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning briefing right here. I might see you at 22nd Street Landing tomorrow. Hey, it's going to be great wherever it is. If I don't see you in any one of those places, I hope to see you really, really soon. Have a wonderful weekend and a great Friday evening. Don't forget, if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning.